Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, this is Megneous and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Dinosaurs. First things first, I did a lot of mining off camera, so we have 7 biofossils and 2 frozen meats that we need to put into our new analyzer that I built, since we had a few extra biofossils anyway. So we're just gonna put these in here. One more. And then I'm going to put these in here. That's not where I wanted to put those. And hopefully this frozen meat, I don't know if you guys remember, but frozen meat can now turn into dodo DNA in the new version of the mod, so I'm really hoping we get some dodo stuff as well. And in addition to all of that stuff today, we also have to check out our tree that we put over there in the cultivator. It is finished. And we're actually going to talk about that tree, because it's a pretty cool tree. I looked it up on Wikipedia and stuff like that, as well as some new research that was recently released by Oxford University concerning prehistoric birds. Fun time, so there's nothing interesting in here whatsoever. And the sand doesn't do anything either. Sad times. Well, we got Sabercat DNA, that's cool, no dodos. No dodos. Sigh. That was fairly disappointing. I do not need any cow DNA, thank you. Alright, well, at least we got some Sabercat DNA. I'm rather disappointed that we didn't get Ankylosaurus, or Pachycephalosaurus, or Compies, or anything like that. That would have been fun, but oh well. Maybe we should try to make another T-Rex soon. Maybe some Nautiluses. Let's try a Nautilus. Hello, cow. I need your milk. Come here. I said come here. Thank you very much. Alright, so before we talk about prehistoric birds and stuff like that, we're gonna grab our... I don't know how to pronounce this. Paleoraphy? Paleoraphy. We're gonna call you Paleoraphy. Or I'm gonna call you Ralph. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call you Ralph. Let's see. I'm gonna put a Nautilus in here. And... let's see if we can get a Nautilus instead of some sort of terrible Phaelosaurus monstrosity. Is it turning night? I think it is. Let's go to sleep before some creepers and stuff show up. And we will plant our Ralphie tree in the morning. Okay, and we're awake. So, our Ralphie tree, let's talk about that as we plant it. This is a new tree in the new, well, it wasn't added this past version, but it is in the Revival mod. It wasn't in the version that we were playing before, so it's new to me. I'm sort of interested in what it's going to look like. It's sort of a palm tree. It's an extinct species of palm. It's actually in... maybe it's the entire genus. Yeah, I think it's an entire genus on its own of extinct palm that was around during the Miocene, I believe, during the Miocene period, possibly. I think so, 23 million to 5 million years ago. So, pretty recent compared to most of the things that we usually talk about. We don't really talk about things in the Miocene period very often, other than, I don't know, were Sabercats around during the Miocene? Possibly. But, yeah, so this was 23 to 5 million years ago. This, thing is actually apparently only known because a half-inch flower was discovered, fossilized flower was discovered on the island of Hispaniola. And it's been very, very carefully studied, and it's currently, I believe, in the University of Chicago? Strange place for the only specimen of an extinct species of palm to exist. But yeah, so these things were actually real, and they did have that name, which is pretty cool. I sort of wasn't expecting that. When it grows, I'm going to put these fern seeds under it. And they also made a new kind of wood, the Ralphie wood, as I'm going to call it. So we get to see what color that is as soon as this is done growing. No nautiluses yet. Alright, very good. So, let's see, we did the tree, fossils. So now we're going to talk about research while we go up to check out Ares' place, because I also worked on the hill quite a bit. I think what I want to do eventually so that I can get up here easier is to make sort of a stairwell completely out of Ralphie wood. I think that would be interesting. But yes, so the research concerning prehistoric birds. So, when we're discussing kinds of birds that are, where's my dirt? That are sort of transitory fossils, transitional species. When we talk about those things, one of the most famous things that we talk about is Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx is very well known for being a transitional species between small theropod dinosaurs and birds, modern birds. And I believe, if I remember what we read about Archaeopteryx earlier, Archaeopteryx was around during the Jurassic period. I think. Again, don't quote me on that because, yeah, I'm terrible at remembering these things on the fly, but I'm pretty sure it was during the Jurassic period. Indeed. The things that we're going to be talking about are around... Okay, so yes, over here. Our little Ares has grown quite a bit. Can we break this? Apparently we can't. What in the world is going on? Can I break it with this? Yes. Alright then. But yeah, that's another thing about the new version of the mod. I think once Ares gets tall enough, don't eat me. Gets tall enough, he may actually break out of this, because I know in the older versions of the mod, T-Rexes and Brachiosaurus would break anything other than iron blocks. New sounds, I love it. But in the version of the mod that we played when Bartholomew was our first T-Rex, he didn't break anything because the breaking blocks thing was turned off in that version of the mod, but in the new version of the mod, possibly that's been fixed to where they're breaking things again, so I'm not really sure about that. A little bit worried. Just a little bit. There we go. But we'll see about that. I'm not gonna worry about that too much, even if it does break. Oh well, what you gonna do? T-Rex is running everywhere. We can make some more. But yeah, I've been working on slowly cutting away this nonsense over here. I sort of want to continue that during this episode, but I'm gonna leave that for some other time. I think if we do anything, we should probably go and try to mine some more biofossils, because I want a Pachycephalosaur so badly, so incredibly badly. But yes, anyway, the research that we were talking about. We're going to be talking about the Cretaceous period, which the Cretaceous period is sort of a special time in terms of the evolution of dinosaurs to birds, because there were not modern birds, but primitive birds flying around. They did have powered flight by this time in the Cretaceous period, as well as their dinosaur relatives, small theropod dinosaurs living together. Not in harmony, probably, but living in the same time and running around in the same time period. Sort of a strange time for birds, I'm sure, modern-ish birds. But yeah, these birds weren't really what you would consider modern birds by most standards. These birds were quite odd. Many of the species probably still had teeth, which is terrifying if you think about it, birds with teeth, but that's basically what dinosaurs were anyway. So birds with teeth, they also still had tails during this period, the Cretaceous period. I'm hoping that we don't die down here, since that seems to be what we tend to do. Oh, wait a second. What am I doing? Why am I running down here? I don't have an iron pick. I need to build an iron pick. But yeah, so during this time period, the primitive birds, which would later become modern-ish birds, they currently still had tails, despite the fact that they had already developed powered flight, which is something that Archaeopteryx, for example, probably didn't have. Archaeopteryx was probably incapable of flight, only capable of gliding. But Cretaceous period birds, they had that stuff under control. Oh, I think our Nautilus is done. Yes! Living Nautilus. Alright, where should we put this to make ourselves some Nautiluses? I would like to find something that's a little bit deeper, but still pretty much confined. Here! Oh look, there's already a Nautilus in here. We're gonna throw another one in here. Hopefully they can make some babies. Pop! There you go, my friend. Make some babies. Anyway. So they still had tails, and birds with tails are sort of strange. When I say tails, I don't mean tail feathers. I mean literally vertebrae inside of a fleshy tail like a lizard. They still had tails. And when you think about that, you're probably thinking, yeah, that thing was basically a dinosaur. And they sort of were. But the point is that during the Cretaceous period and after that, what started happening was that their tails started to recede, their tails started to disappear. I have to focus. Let's see. That's not what I want to do. I need to build. Alright. So now that that's taken care of, just gonna throw that away. Good enough for me. I am terrible at keeping track of what I'm talking about. So, these birds, they still had tails, which is strange, but their tails started to recede, and according to the research that's been done by Oxford, they seem to believe that as their tails started to recede during the Cretaceous period and beyond, what started happening... Ooh, there are indeed fossils down here. What started happening was that with the lack of their tails, they had extra energy and extra adaptability, shall we say, so that they started to diverge in terms of species. People... I wasn't really quite clear on what the article was trying to say on this particular topic, but when it comes to birds these days, you probably think that they differentiate mainly by things like their wings and their beaks and things like that, but apparently this wasn't something that really existed at the beginning for birds. For early birds, the primary thing that was distinguishing them and they were diverging from one another genetically was their feet. And as they lost their tails, what evolution started working on seemed to have been their feet. And during this period, there was lots and lots of diversification in terms of these primitive birds' feet to adapt them to different environments, such as marshy environments or cliff faces and things like that. They didn't give a lot of examples, but that's basically the idea. And it's sort of strange to think about it, that these birds, rather than, I don't know, developing different kinds of wings, which is something that, you know, is quite unique to birds, or at least their version of wings are. Wings themselves aren't that unique. Or their beaks, because, you know, birds don't have teeth and dinosaurs do have teeth, so if they're going to diverge from dinosaurs, that probably seems like something that they would do. No, apparently that came later. Apparently one of the very first things that differentiated birds, modern-ish birds, from their dinosaur relatives were their feet. Odd, of all the things that you wouldn't have probably suspected. 3 biofossils. Not bad. Alright, so I think that's about it for the research. I can't think of anything else that they said in that I wanted to talk about. But there is... there we go. Some more fossils. There's another thing I wanted to talk about. Some of my subscribers, you guys have been asking me, when am I going to start playing Starbound? Many of you were asking about Pixelmon too, and I don't think you've heard me say, but we're going to be starting Pixelmon as soon as my illustrator finishes making the thumbnail. But some of you have been asking about Starbound, and I indeed sent an email asking about Starbound to Chucklefish Games, because I was curious myself, and lots of people have been asking, so I thought I would contact them. But they're currently flying on planes going to some sort of, some conference or a panel of some sort. Something having to do with indie games, probably indie game development. So they're currently not available to answer my questions, but... Oh, I am almost out of torches. That's not good. I'm gonna steal this one. Hello? Hello, creepers. I don't... Ah, there you are, zombie. But yeah, so Starbound, in case you guys don't know, I've talked about it several times. Starbound is one of those games, space games, that I really want to play. I think I can... Why can I not break blocks? This is not normal. Okay, that's really weird. I think the game is glitching out a little bit. Just a little bit. If that's the case, I'm not gonna go down there. I don't trust the game not to destroy me. But yeah, so Starbound is a space game. It's going to be sort of like Terraria. The main artist from Terraria is the main developer, I believe. His name is Tier, or something like that. Well, his game name, online persona. Starbound is going to be similar to Terraria in that it'll be a 2D mining, crafting, adventure game. Except it's going to be based in space! Which means I have to play it for the channel, and I totally want to play it. Hello. And the primary feature of Starbound is that everything is going to be randomly generated. I've talked about this before, but randomly generated gravity, planets, liquids on the planets. Ow! Okay, that was painful. Go away. Ah, sigh. Randomly generated liquids, randomly generated monsters, randomly generated quests. If you randomly generate everything, supposedly there will be plenty of stuff for everyone to do and we won't get bored, which is possible, I suppose. But we'll see. But anyway, I'm really excited about that game. And it's totally going to be one of the games that hopefully I get to play quite early due to having a press copy, and hopefully it'll bring lots of people in to the channel and lots of fun stuff. But so that game is... Recently I've noticed, looking at the website, I've been noticing that they've been working on a lot of bug fixes rather than adding new content recently, which makes me feel that maybe they're getting to the point where beta will be possible, and if beta is possible, then that means press copies will be possible, and I can't wait to get my press copy. Chucklefish, if you're watching this, I love you. Please contact me. I miss you. OP, please respond. Nice, biofossils. Oh, I can't wait to get the biofossils and get my different colored pachycephalosaurs. Oh, there are a lot of fossils in here. I feel like I've been here before, but clearly I didn't really pay attention. This is on, you guys can't see this, right? Yeah, it is on bright. I do not have any more torches. Hopefully you guys can see this. I am so blind. I think... Can you guys see? 'Cause I sure can't. You guys are probably completely blind at the moment because YouTube makes things a little bit darker. Alright, we're getting out of here. Creepy music and it's too dark, I can't see. Into the light. Hello. Very good. Alright, so I can't really think of anything else to talk about today. We've talked about Starbound. We have 7 more biofossils. Hopefully next episode we'll be able to get some sort of DNA for a dinosaur that we haven't seen before. And hopefully our extinct palm tree grows a bit as well. That would be interesting. So thank you very much everyone for watching. My name is Megneous, and I will see you next time.